course, good. Anybody ever went to dance with us, they'd wonder what that big roll was. But I can remember one evening in particular, some advice Nellie was giving me. Bill was doing his insurance work then. He was working really late, which was a lot of nights. And she was telling me how I should look for a man like Bill to marry. And it was kind of special. She was saying how when Bill said he was at work, she knew that then because that was where he wanted to be more than any other place. And sure enough, it was about 8:30, and he came in the door, and I remember he had a big, he had to buy a couple gallons of ice cream to feed back for ice cream with us, and then she kind of looked and she said, and he always brings home a treat when he works late. So that was one of my favorite memories. And I remember, too, my wedding reception, which was quite an experience. But I think Nell made the cake for that. It wasn't burnt either. I think we did that entire reception for about $65. I mean, that's a few years ago, but she knows how to stretch the dollar and how to make it. And it was very nice. It was a nice reception. I loved you both.
Bob, if you'd like to come up. Bob has been a friend of the family for many years. We've had a lot of fun times with Bob and Donna and your family.
Thank you. I do feel like I'm part of the Pratt family. Our relationship with Bill and Nellie has been kind of sunshine and shade sort of thing. Because when you're around Nellie very long, sooner or later you're going to be standing in the sunshine, or at least in the limelight. And Bill was kind of always relaxed, and I don't mean that he was shady, but it was just more serene and easy to talk to, and that's kind of the way I felt about him. And I have to tell at least one Bishop Pratt story. When he was Bishop of the Ward, they used to eat dinner at our place quite often on Sunday afternoon. And I don't know if Bill came for the dinner or the relaxations, because nobody knew where he was. And I don't know if he enjoyed the naps or the food best. But I can remember him sacking out in our commodore chair for a couple hours sleep and relaxation. So if you ever wondered where he was, that's where he was. I got to tell at least one Nellie Pratt story. And this happened at one of our kids' wedding reception, and Donna's two brothers were, Harold and Jim, were sitting at the table, and Jim was saying to Harold, "Harold, you want to watch out for that Nellie Pratt. She'll have you sanitized, Republicanized, and baptized. Put an ice over if you don't watch her." So Harold kind of looked over his shoulder. He said, "Well, Jim, what does she look like?" And Jim stopped for a minute. He said, "You know, I've been avoiding her for so long I forgot." Anyway, I have written a poem for the Pratts. Nellie came over to our house not too long ago, and she was really quite depressed. And so I was inspired to write this verse about our matchmaking now. I'd like to read that to you. "Oh, say have you met our matchmaking now, who came in from Canada with her husband Bill, bringing 5 children and half a fat hog, 10 bushels of wheat, and a French-speaking dog. She visited in Kennewick, not planning to stay, but she saw she had work here, just as plain as a day. She unpacked the auto and said, 'Build a shack and teach the dog English, because we ain't going back.' Bill built a shelter that was spacious and wide, while Nell was out checking the streets on both sides. She found her so many she could educate, to teach them the gospel, or find them a mate. Now they'll sink our bathtub much deeper than those, because we're going into partners with the great Holy Ghost. And build us an altar in the living room there, whether we dunk them or marry them, we really won't care." Now Nell's reputation is her great matching skill, and this is her motto: "Where there's Jack, there is Jill." And hard-shelled bachelors do quiver and quail when they hear that our Nellie is hot on their tail. Oh, say sing a song for our matchmaking Nell, who came in from Canada with her husband Bill, and loved everybody, but singles the most, which makes her a partner with the great Holy Ghost. One night, I've always been impressed with the Pratts, and whenever I've been with them alone and they mention each other, there's always a special light in their eyes, and you can tell how deeply they care for each other. And this is the final poem that I'll read you this evening. When Nell speaks with Bill, her voice tenderizes, and her eyes just sort of blaze. Good heavens, does she realize half a century's down the street? When Bill speaks of Nell, his voice goes mellow, and a smile is sure to come. Is he really that lucky fellow, or have the years just made him numb? It's obvious they are still in love, after years of wear and tear. It's obvious they go hand in glove. It's obvious that he's a friend. Well, Nellie, you're married to please tell us, how's your plan? Second, she says, in 38, I married about you. Well, Bill, you seem to adore your mate.
Many of the people here tonight have been brought into the gospel by Dad and Mom who were married, and so that is the true Savior. We'd like to thank Richard Williams for his organ music. He's been a great friend of our family for many years and touched our hearts. Also, a great friend of the family is President Killian from O'Fellow. He's helped us in many ways, and we've been in on a lot of projects together.
I was sick 2 weeks ago and I said, we're not going to do it. Phone Joyce and Joyce said, she can be sick if she wants to, but we're going to have it and we have to slap her up in a chair. And I want to thank everybody who helped. And I want to thank you who have made a hospital for so many years. And you have been so dear to our hearts. You have meant our lives. It doesn't matter.
Now we might as well sit down for now.
The life you touch and the people that you know and the people that you love is what it's really all about. And I thank you for being here.
I'd like to endorse what Nellie has said. I'd like to endorse what Nellie has said. We appreciate our friends. I'd like to tell one little story on Nellie. One of the things that why we ended up here in Kennewick, no one's related that story, and so I think maybe I'll relate that to you. We had some rough weather in Canada. We'd been farming up there for 5 years. And farmers, they don't make too much money, God bless them. And I asked one of the fellows up there as I figured up my income tax, I said, well, how do I stack up with the rest of the farmers here? And he says, oh, Brother Pratt, you're among the top 10%. I said, Lord pity the rest of them, man, if I'm in the top 10. Anyway, we'd had a snow in the last of August and dropped down. It was freezing, and we had around 1,000 acres of grain that was down that we couldn't harvest. And I come in and my hands were frozen. I'd been out trying to thaw out the settling bowl on one of my big tractors to get it to go, and I was really discouraged. And come in and I pulled my gloves off and I threw them on the floor and said a few adjectives that I won't repeat right now. And I said, I'm getting out of this cold country. Nellie says, fine, I'll be ready in 20 minutes. So she pushed me with both feet. I took the other tractor that was running. We put a log chain on the car, pulled the car down to the highway, got it out on where it would run, left the tractor there in the field with a chain on it, and we come down to Kennewick. That's when my sister was living over here on Conway. And it was beautiful here, 75 degrees and the flowers was out. We was going to California. She wouldn't go any further. She thought she was in the celestial kingdom. She wanted to stay right here. So that's how we ended up in Kennewick. And as we walked over to where he was building the church, Henry said, "We'll take you over and show you where they're going to build a new church." I says, "Fine." And as we walked over, there was an old sign that was kicked down, and it had a sign on it that says, "For sale, make offer," with a telephone number on it. And no, it was a box number on in Portland. And so on a postcard I wrote and offered this guy a price for his lot. And I thought, well, that's what I paid for the last lot I bought down here in the States. I couldn't lose anything on it. And I got a telephone call from the guy 2 days later at my sister's place and said, "I accept your offer." And I said, "What offer?" I forgot I'd bid on that lot. And he says, "I'll meet you in the attorney's office in Kennewick in the morning." I said, "Fine, I guess we just bought us a lot." So that's how we got started in Kennewick. But we've loved the people here. I've loved them, and they've loved us. And we've got a lot of friends here, true friends. And it's like Nellie said, we've learned to love a lot of people. We've helped a lot of people, and they've helped us. We've been instruments in the Lord's hands in introducing many to the gospel. We still do it. We enjoy it. There's no greater joy in this world than to see somebody come into the church and change their life. And I want you to know that we appreciate each and every one of you. Your kindness, your friendship, and your attendance here this night. And I want to say that you are our friends, our true friends. We've had many call and said they wasn't able to make it tonight. But we appreciate you showing up and coming. And may the Lord bless you, and we have plenty to eat. If you don't eat some more, why, we'll be taking it somewhere. So please do it and enjoy the rest of the evening. I thank you.
Before I sing the song, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Bill and Nellie and what kind of friends they are to us. And I'm sure they've probably helped other people. You know, the reason I gave, I'll tell you, when I finish this, you'll know why I gave the ice cream. Don and I and our family lived out on the farm and was going to build a new home. You know, fellow, and so we put the plans together, the kind of home we wanted. We had a builder that gave us a bid on it. We wanted $124,000. Are you sure we make it? I said my granddad's still in love. My grandpa. I said my dad still thinks Mama sweetest thing he ever saw. I come from a long line of love. When the times get hard, we don't give up. Forever's in my heart and in my blood. You see, I come from a long line of blood. Years went by and we had a son. Now he thinks that he's found someone for him. And they're planning a wedding. He called me up on the phone today just to see what I had to say to him. say to me, it's been handed down for ages, it runs in the family. You come from a long line long, when the times get hard, we don't give up. Forever's in your heart and in your blood. Son, you come from a long line. Yes, you come from a long line. Now, I just really came just to provide some background music, so I want you to go ahead and eat and visit now. And we're going to do a little more singing, and then we're going to probably have some more organ music, so just go ahead and visit.
Guys, there's plenty of food left, so help yourselves, okay? And don't leave too soon without eating at least another plateful.
down